recording on the cloud. So we're good.
Awesome. Good morning. I'm excited about it.
Good morning, Randy. It's great to be with you.
Great to be with you, Brody.
So what I want to do is just kind of walk through kind of best practices, exactly kind of how you want to approach the product and the outreach and everything else. So obviously what you've done a great job at doing is you have a great pitch. It's really leading with value. It's talking about what you can do for your potential candidate. And that's the best outreach. And what I like to do is I like to ask a question, something about the candidate's business, and we'll get into that.
Okay.
And one of the things I see it's very effective is you have access to everyone's number and email on here, but asking them for their number or their email to hop on a call or to share referrals, reaching out in the normal course of business is what I find to be most effective, because when they give you the phone number, you know, they're expecting the call rather than just totally blind outreach.
Right. Okay.
The other thing you've done a great job of is you have all of your services here. And so we track everyone that looks at your services, everyone that looks at your profile, everyone that looks at your pitch. Right. And obviously you have your ideal candidate, which is basically saying, here's really what I'm looking for. And then like a dating site, what we're doing is helping you kind of match up with the types of folks you want to talk to and basically getting them to watch your pitch, take an interest. On your profile, when someone looks at you, and this is important to kind of look at, you have what's called your public profile view. And so a candidate sees this button that says, I'm interested. So when they're looking at you, it's like the quick apply on LinkedIn. You get all their info, check their stats, whatever you want to do. But this is incredibly powerful for the candidate to get to know you, to look at your network. Right now, you show up first to 12,000 plus folks. And the reason that's significant is most of the best opportunities come from your network. And kind of the core of what we're doing at Ideal Estate, and this relates to recruiting, sharing referrals, everything, is we're giving you full access to your network. So right now, you're probably allowing 80% of your opportunities to fall through your quality opportunities to fall through the cracks because they can't see you, you can't see them, even though they're in your network. We're really opening that up and giving you both visibility.
Gotcha.
So that part's really cool. I'm going to go back to the dashboard here, but I'm going to jump over. So when you go here, so you have the ability to click Find Recruits.
Yeah.
This allows you to search. And what you want to do is you want to connect with people. You want to share. You can check someone's stats on the fly just by clicking up here in this top right-hand corner.
Okay.
This is actually my realtor. Really great guy. He's with EXP. But you can go through, check someone's stats if you want. You can check out what they're up to. You can search also and say, I want to look at all the agents in this location that sold this many homes in this price range last year. And it will give you all of that information in a really easy to digest way. Just make sure as you're getting started, this is an important tip. Choose all professionals.
Okay.
Until you have a bigger network, which you're growing yours. It defaults just to, your network. And we typically try to connect you with the newest people on the site because we want to give them good activity as well.
I gotcha.
And so, it's a different sort of set of tools, but you can search by company name. So if you want to look at Keller Williams or whatever, or maybe you're doing coaching for EXP, you want to look at your other fellow EXP agents and send them a connection request, get to know them.
That makes sense.
When you send a connection request, once that person accepts the request, every time you get a new listing, every time you post a new service, anytime you have an update, it's going to put it right in front of them. And so it's basically your entire network on autopilot where we're cultivating this real estate part of your network.
So can I ask a question? Did I hear you correctly? Like Ideal Estate will connect me with everybody that's new into Ideal Estate and all that, but top agents, or if I want to specifically go for independent brokerages and things, I'd have to look for them and then connect with them.
Yeah, you would search. I mean, we put you in front of people. We're promoting you behind the scenes all the time. So you'll see emails that come through. It's like, here's a suggested connection, or here's someone you might want to talk to. So we're actually emailing people based on your criteria, helping them look at your profile. And it's really subtle. It's just, hey, check out Randy's profile. You might want to connect, share referral.
I gotcha. Okay.
So then you have this recruit button. So you can see you can message people, right? So you can send a message. You can add responses. That.
I've done that, made canned responses and some personal messages and things.
Exactly. And that's really to start a conversation. Again, always leading with value, never the quit your job, join EXP, get free KV core. And by the way, what's your name? It doesn't work. It won't. If you're having a hard time on our site, you basically have access and all of the tools you need to evaluate for people to evaluate you in a really cool environment. So if you're struggling, you need to focus on your message and your outreach, because that's the difference. If you're not having success here, you're not going to have success anywhere else. And so as you can see, you can do the send to KV core. This will send the person straight to the proper nurture campaign that have already been set up under marketing autopilot. And you can edit those. I recommend putting a personal touch on those.
Yeah, they're good. I saw them, and they do need a little personal touch. And then for my people, like sending to KV core, is there a limit on that currently with either with Ideal Estate, KV core, or EXP?
It's really so we limited the number of people so far that we're basically allowing EXP to have 1,000 total accounts, which makes a huge part of what we're going to allow here. Once I send someone to KV core, that person cannot be sent to KV core by another user for 6 weeks.
Oh,
so you have a 6-week period.
Oh,
that's why we do that. It's it's really to kind of focus in on that quality. And again, you can still message and start the conversation.
That's a big deal.
When I go to the notification center, which is clicking this bell here, what happens is you basically hear all your candidates. You can see, so qualified. Let me explain what these mean. It means they met your criteria and they looked at your pitch more than once, basically. So they're looking at your stuff,
Okay.
They're checking you out. Suggested means they didn't meet your ideal criteria, but they're looking at your stuff. Here's someone you should reach out to. And then you'll see others that say interested. And then there's another one that says recruiter selected, which is, you sent them to KV core because you searched for them. And so from this section, you've gotten 25 candidates. You've heard, some good responses. If I go back to your all, you can see people want to connect with you. You can request a phone call and share your pitch. By clicking share your profile, this will automatically send your pitch.
I've been doing that with everybody. Is that accurate?
What?
I've been doing that with everybody that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that. You can check the stats right here on the fly.
Yep,
so she's had 17 listings. Here's the price range she works in. Here's what her network looks like.
So Brody, those listings, is that lifetime? Is that active? What is it?
No, it's within the last 12 months.
Okay, it's within 12 months. Okay. Last 12. Okay, cool. Thanks.
So that part's really easy to use. But again, these are the people looking at you, and just look at the last 20, 30 minutes, hour ago. There aren't a lot of sites out there where agents, want to go and look and connect with other agents.
I haven't done it today, but I've been disciplined every single day, even on the weekend, of clearing out my messages and talking to them and striking up conversations.
Yep. And then, the other thing we're doing, obviously unlocking the network, and I just want to mention it briefly because it's really neat, is creating property alerts. This is another way to really draw attention to your profile from other agents. So if I create a property alert and say it's a price range, choose a location.
Okay.
It can be any city.
Really? It's not your listings, it's
any city in the country.
And is this for a specific agent, or is this something going on my site, basically?
This is basically, you're creating this property alert. You can share it with clients. So for your agents that are selling homes, you can actually use this as a nationwide MLS. So if you have someone moving somewhere else, or you're trying to attract new people to your area, this will do that. So I'll just choose my hometown of Park City.
Okay.
And so basically you choose the property alert, you can choose the distance. This will give us Salt Lake City homes as well.
Yeah.
And within a few seconds, now I have a property alert. It's gathering the properties. So in just a second, I'll click refresh.
That's a big area. That's a big range, 420 to 12 million. That's like.
Yeah, I just jacked it up.
But like on my site, I have luxury properties only. It's just a tab I made, and I could do 1 to 5 million properties only.
Yep, and you could just choose that, like with the alert itself. You
That's
just use
cool.
the range, see? So you can create whatever
Yeah,
you
that's
want. It could
cool.
be homes in this location that have these
Yeah.
characteristics.
Interesting.
And
So
so
now that shows up where?
so it's on your profile. So every time there are new homes, it'll add them to your property alert. Where this comes in super handy is if you want to share with a client or a connection, but it notifies the listing agent that you've added it to a property alert and drives them back to your profile to look at you.
Oh,
And so it's really
even
neat.
they're
See
not
how
my
this,
listings.
what?
Even they're not my listings.
Yeah, no, it's about sharing, collaborating, just like you would otherwise. It's
Interesting.
actually an alternative to sending your clients to Zillow to
Interesting.
shop for homes. They can go shopping. We obviously have a portal. We have great sharing features, so you can go through and if you wanted to, say, hey Brody, you're moving to Park City.
Oh,
I
I
already know
got
you as an agent. I already know you. I'll help you find the right home. This is incognito. So when you share with a client on Ideal Estate,
I don't see the listing agent.
we never sell the information. And so when I go up here, this is what your client gets: an organized, curated collection of homes.
Wow.
And you're able to literally, they can
This
actually
is nationwide.
nationwide, and it's safe to shop here. So it's a
Wow.
great way to do it. If you went on anyone's listing, it literally won't show.
That's bananas.
Yeah, so we don't allow anyone to advertise on your listings. So obviously, you could take a client to an open house and they could call the listing agent if they were that type of client and leave. It's kind of a myth.
Wow.
The challenge you have is with the Zillows of the world selling their information
I
50
know.
times. So
I
it's
know.
not that they couldn't leave, and that's a fight with Google that you can't win. But
Yeah.
on our site, since we don't share that personal information, so you click on kind of a cool house, and you have a really good sort of interface for your client, everything else. See this? So you can go through, but what you don't see is all your competitors advertising on your listing.
Right. Exactly.
Nationwide
You'll have the
MLS.
list. You'll have the listing agent's info.
They have their info, but we're not selling the client info to the listing agent, and that's the core difference.
I gotcha. And then, so this is good for consumers. What about agents? Is there, like, say I'm trying to build a relationship with an agent in Denver.
Yeah.
Can I set up something so in Denver they keep getting notified and the same thing? And I can build that relationship by them seeing more stuff of mine.
Yeah, so they'll look at you, and you can actually create collections of homes called boards. And we have, so you can go and search. Like if I want to look at homes in Miami, Florida, I can go and do that really, really easily. And this is what's great about Ideal Estate in terms of recruiting, is you're reaching out in the normal course of business. So you're not cold calling,
Right.
So I can create a collection, call it whatever I want. I can do it publicly or privately.
Wow.
And then this one's really cool too. So I can now easily go shopping just like you would on Pinterest. So if you don't want to do just a broader property alert, these function exactly the same way. They look exactly the same. But you can go through in just a few seconds, create an organized collection of homes.
You're going too fast. What are you doing?
I'm saving homes.
You're just saving some properties that are kind of cool looking. Oh, you're making a collection board. I see it.
Yeah, I'm making a collection here. And so you can basically see the photos adding
I
to it.
I gotcha.
So what's really cool is, say you had your own homes, like you've got your Ideal Estate network and it's huge.
Yeah.
But you want to push your homes out, right? So you
Yeah.
create a collection with your own homes, and with one button click, I just shared this with 12,000 people.
Oh shit.
And so so it will draw people back to you in a really cool way.
Wow. That's powerful.
So that's something neat. So, and again, when you make connections, we're expanding your network. So you're constantly getting new folks coming through the door, constantly looking at you and getting to know you so that you don't have to do all of the work, just half of it.
I love it.
And
that's
so
very, very cool.
Thanks. And look, I mean, in 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you create a property alert. I mean, this is the kind of activity you're getting of people looking at you every.
So let's take one. So somebody accepted my connection request that we sent, right?
Yeah, right here.
Okay, they want to connect with other agents, all right? So I don't want to, the recruit button is just their contact info, right?
Yeah, you don't want to, you can message them. and
Yeah, I
save
just
the
message
recruit.
him until we're in a relationship.
Yeah, but if you go back to the other page, you'll notice you have contact information for everybody.
Correct. I've seen that.
So see this? And
Right,
some of these, might not be an agent, so Power Forward LLC. So
right,
so if they don't have a phone number, it's typically a non-realtor pro, like a lender or appraiser or something.
right.
You go through and you can kind of see what's up and check them out. You can send them an email if you want to. But it's usually better to email them through the site or to message them through the site. And it's very important to understand why is that takes them back to your profile. So by messaging, let's talk about strategy and process.
Yeah,
The first step of the process, I recommend start connecting with people, sending connection requests by searching, connecting with the people that look at your profile, listings, everything else. Have a
okay,
look at what they looked at so you can see like what they looked at, when they looked at it, all see right here, luxury listings only, things like
right,
that.
right.
So now you have a conversation starter where you can say, hey, Annette, you looked at my, thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd love to chat with you. Do you have some time? Can I get your phone number? We can hop on a call. Yeah, sure. Great.
right.
So you start with a connection request and then maybe a message on our side.
Yep,
And then, depending on how they act, that's where you send a KV core to put them in a nurture campaign.
I got it.
To
I got
run
it.
over a 30-day period.
So say we have a good conversation, like I did last week with a gal named Carol.
Yeah.
Had a good conversation. I sent her to KV Core, which was very cool. It automatically launched a campaign.
Yes.
And then we could edit that campaign, obviously, in campaigns, which I did and looked at.
Sure.
How many are we allowed to do? Is there a limit? Because I love how if you send them to KV Core, nobody else can in Ideal Estate for 6 weeks. That's pretty cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Is there a limit of it wouldn't allow me to add a couple, and I didn't know why.
Yeah, it's just you hit your limit for the month. So it's just a month.
So it's a limit per month. Is it 5 or it's a small number of?
It's 5 that we pair you with, like your matches, which are like these ones. So, and then you can send 5 manually. So say, for example, you go to search
Yes.
and then you can send 5 manually. So
What does that mean manually?
it means you went and searched for them. We didn't connect you with them.
Oh, I see. So
So
you
you have,
you could just hit that send to KV Core on 5 that you search for.
yeah.
All right. I mean, we could copy and paste their information in there, but I'm trying to automate this and not abuse it,
Yeah, no, and that's important. We're very careful about the abuse part of it.
Yeah, we don't, it makes us all look bad if we do that.
Sure.
So basically it's 10 agents a month we could add to KV Core once we build relationships with them.
Yes, with the plan that you have. There's 3 different plans.
And is there a higher plan than I have?
Yeah, there's 2 higher ones.
Oh, okay.
There's one that's $299 and you get 10 and 10, so 20 total. And then there's $499, you get 30 total a month.
Okay, so that's the price difference in the plans is how many people you could send to KV Core effectively. Okay, all right. And like I said, I have about 30 people that have signed up now that are in my agent attraction class that I'm trying to help them build another, another pillar of agent attraction. And we're using that with Ideal Estate. So I want to make sure I'm able to tell them the right information.
Yeah, and they'll be able to watch this video.
Correct. I appreciate that. I'm going to share it with them. So our plan is 5 plus 5 a month.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And that works for most of them because they're focusing on 2 solid contacts a day, 1 day a week, which mathematically that kind of adds up.
It does. And, it also gives you, you still have the messaging, connecting and networking.
Right.
And you might meet someone on here and 6 months later is the right time. Right.
Right.
And that's the point of making connections is you're
Exactly.
connecting. And then you have this activity feed that basically shows you what's going on in your network.
Right.
So you can see, okay, well, Brody got a new home. Like, I'll congratulate Brody. Maybe that's an opportunity to reach out.
Right. Right. Okay.
Kirk has a new listing. Maybe I can reach out and congratulate the person or say, hey, I might have someone that would be interested in that area or whatever the outreach is.
I gotcha. It's just another way to make connections that are warm rather than a cold call.
Yeah, and rather than a cold call without context.
Yeah, true. True, true, true. It's a big difference when you call them and say that I noticed you got a new listing. Awesome, especially, in an area that we operate in.
Exactly.
So that activity feed, did you search for that or is that automatic because I'm in Salem area?
It's automatic. It just pulls based on your info, and it might pull based on where I am. So
And
it grabs it from where you are, but you can
Yeah,
search anywhere.
yeah, that's mine. So is that automatically on my page every morning, that activity feed?
Yes.
Or did you hit a button?
No, you can click into it actually and see the whole thing and kind of scan through it.
Okay, cool. Now you can see if you're connected or not.
Yeah, if you're connected or not, and where you're connected. See what I mean? Every
So-
time a new home comes on, if new connections happen within your network,
I
if
got it.
someone posts a service, if someone, likes one of your homes or something like that, see this?
Right.
You can go through and like stuff. It's totally underutilized because, imagine if you could just see what was going on all the time in real time.
Oh, totally. I could see this. So help me with this, Brody. I have one challenge that it's probably a workaround, but say I'm looking and say I call Kirk and I congratulate him on his new listing and I just, make a face to a name connection. That's it.
Yep.
What's the follow-up? Because if I don't put him into KV Core, he doesn't exist in follow-up. So if I don't want to add him to KV Core yet, is there something within Ideal Estate that I'm tracking with him? Can we use a hashtag or put him in a box or anything?
So basically, when you connect with him, we're basically running campaigns about, basically putting you in front of him all the time. So
That I'm setting up or automatic?
automatic. It's just
okay.
part of your plan. And so
How does it know to do that when I just may reach out and call his phone number? Is it through the messaging?
If you connect with him. So if you go to your, basically where you can make connections, so you can connect with, anyone you want. And then once you're connected, so say you call and it's not a good time or whatever the case might be. Okay, let's take Tom here.
Okay.
I click connect. Tom accepts the connection request. Every time you do anything on the site, it's going to keep him warm.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. So it's really automated. I don't need to do much follow-up campaigns and things until we get to send to KV Core, basically.
Exactly. And, you might have someone that says, hey, I was just waiting for your call. Can't wait to come to EXP.
Gotcha. And I think I might have used all my KV Core connections and testing this.
Oh,
I might have used it up for March already, but
well, we'll take care of you. Don't
yeah,
worry.
we'll figure it out. But that's very, very cool. And I was really impressed how it migrated all the information to KV Core and launched a campaign on them. And all of our notes that we did. I mean, it was really impressive how that worked.
Thank you.
That's actually what sold me on your system in the beginning was that migration, that connection.
Yep. No, it's a big deal. I mean, it's really probably the first truly end-to-end solution. It gives you what you need because people that use broker metrics, they basically are getting a list of people to call and
Correct.
see what their stats are. I think that's probably, the hardest way to do stuff.
Yeah.
This at least gives you the ability to look at people and for them to look at you. And there's probably nothing more difficult than just getting straight up cold calls all the time.
Yeah, totally.
So that's what makes it discouraging. And when I built this product, I wanted to make sure that, we did a good job, for the virtual brokerages like EXP in giving people the ability to kind of get out of that, kind of mess of making cold calls.
Gotcha.
That was a big part of what we were trying to do. No one really likes to make them. And,
right.
And that's what, can be discouraging sometimes, right? If you come over to EXP and you're, suddenly a recruiter and an agent, not everyone else was born a good recruiter or a great coach.
Yeah, totally.
So giving someone the ability to get started in recruiting that doesn't discourage you. So we wanted to create a less discouraging, more approachable solution.
Yeah, I love that. And also remember, one of the biggest opportunities realtors have is building the referral network. And this is that referral network, and saying, hey, would you mind if we did shared referrals? You're in Denver, I'm in Corvallis, Oregon. And then we make a connection there, share contact information, and we put them in something that allows us to, they're our Denver person, and that could be done anywhere. And effectively, that is agent attraction at the highest level, is coming from a place of value.
Exactly. And what's cool here is, look, I just sent Jeff a connection request.
Yeah.
And basically, if he gets a new home in Utah, it'll show up on your activity feed. If you get a new home, it'll show up on his.
That's
so
pretty
it might come out of the blue. And that's what I'm talking about with this networking kind of concept,
right.
networking kind of graphic of, your network, your real estate networks, your core part of your business fundamentally.
Right.
And right now, you're probably missing out on most of your opportunities. So when you get them, they're great, but they happen kind of by chance. And so we're trying to take the chance out of getting referrals and making these connections.
Right.
And what happens when people, don't have a good network or can't build a network is the alternative is to buy leads.
Yeah.
Referrals and things like that are leads that come from your network. They come with relevance.
True.
Leads are just another name for stranger.
Right. Is there a way to put categories in Ideal Estate, meaning that, like, I have 10,000 EXP agents and 50,000 in my network. I don't want to accidentally or otherwise reach out to EXP agents for an agent attraction piece. But
yeah,
how can
we show you where they are and what they do and everything else, so you can, and we're creating one where you can eliminate rather than putting in, I want to find killer people.
I want to exclude.
I want to exclude EXP. There is an edge case where this can happen if someone uses their personal email and not their EXP email. There's nothing we can do about that if they don't put in their company name.
It's not the end of the world. We want those connections anyway for referrals and otherwise, but
sure. Yeah, it can happen, but it is an edge case. We've tried to do it where, when you set your ideal candidate and these types of things, we won't promote you to other EXP agents unless they're using some wacky personal email, and we just,
I got you. That makes sense.
don't
so Brody, you're the brilliant one here. On, like, join my team is my message. Do I want to make it more neutral? I put something that's passionate to me, which is about time and financial freedom.
I think that's the whole point. I mean, you're selling yourself, and the other thing also for your team, and I think for all EXP agents recruiting, EXP is a big company and people have heard of it. They're looking to join the right team.
Right.
And so leading with value is what you should do. So that it's not just EXP, because they can go to EXP anytime.
Right.
Why do they want to join your team?
And that was what I was trying to say in my message. It's a fine line between bragging and really putting yourself in a place that's attractive.
Exactly.
All right. I was just curious what your thoughts were on that.
Yep. No, that's a great question. So no, it's good. And you've got a video and everything's solid there. And that's how we kind of tie you in. And
I love it.
There is a help center here for a lot of people, that you have videos to walk through pretty much every part of it.
Interesting. Okay. Very cool. I like it. Yeah, this has been amazing. I've really been excited about it. And every time I get on here with you, I learn another 2 or 3 things that are just, again, kind of game changers,
Yeah, we've got some cool stuff here, and,
you really do.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, and there's another kind of concept I've come up with. I sent you a link to that thing. That's not my company, but we're going to consider partnering with them. But they kind of run a kind of cool personality assessment of people, and it shows you kind of where they kind of fall on this spectrum.
Yeah.
And then you can basically say, my rock star, based on this assessment, my rock star recruiter looks like this. How do I peg Brody against my rock star recruiter once they take this assessment? It's pretty cool.
Interesting.
And so you can see, like, a full-blown breakdown of, well, Brody maybe needs to be a little bit more aggressive in his approach, or Brody needs to be less aggressive in his approach.
Interesting.
So anyway, they're looking at coaches and things of that nature. So that might be something as we roll out that will be an extra feature. that we'll put on here.
That's cool. It's a lot of neat stuff going on.
Awesome.
And then, so what's a 30-second takeaway for my new people that we put into this program to get them started? Like what's the highest and best use for them? Profile, a good join my team in bio, a little video, even if it's filmed on their phone or something, just a quick intro.
Yep. Quick intro. Go to the find recruits and start by making connections with people that are interesting to you. And you don't need to be worried about connecting with them. You can, it's a really lightweight way to reach out.
Okay.
And when you go to your notification center and you see new activity, just
Right.
make sure you take a minute to, share your profile, to send a message, to connect,
Right.
check their stats out, see what they're all about, see what
Right.
kind of agent they are. You have the ability just to look with a click of a button and say, okay, this person's going to cap for me. That
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes good sense. And finally, what's a best practices first connection that you see your top people doing? Is it just
once you make a connection, ask a question.
ask a question? Okay.
Someone comes in the door, ask a question, just say, hey, how are you? Not leading with recruiting. If you do that, again, it's not going to work the way that you would want it to. It's really a lot easier. And, it's sort of like you're, planting seeds today. Every day you're on the site, and they might come to fruition, 6 months from now. But, if you have a pipeline of that, then you're in good shape every day.
Totally true. That's such a great takeaway, because I'm guilty of that as well. I'm excited and I want to share.
Yeah.
But when you're sharing without permission, you're just selling.
Exactly. And then, it leads off without the other person being able to be like, yeah, well, I need to understand something about you. You need to understand something about me.
I love that.
That's the real conversation starter piece of this.
I love that. And then I'll coach and help my people with those 5 or 6 questions they could ask to really start a nice conversation with them. Obviously, complimenting them and asking them what's going on in their particular market, asking them if they're open for referral partnerships. All those things are going to be a high response rate.
Yep, absolutely.
I love it, brother.
Awesome.
Well, really, really appreciate you taking the time to train myself, and so I can share this to my team. Get this to me as soon as you can. I'm excited to share it with them.
Awesome. Yeah, it should just take a minute to download. I did it in the cloud, so it shouldn't take long. Beautiful. And I'll send it to you right away.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
Hey, anytime, and I'm always here. So
I know. Thanks, Brody. You've been great.
Thanks so much. All the best.
Thanks, brother. All right.